Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is Dawn, and this channel is Dawn Does Keto. If you're new here, this channel is all about my accountability and my personal journey on the ketogenic diet. I'm getting ready to start my day. I help take care of my father-in-law, and I also DoorDash, so I have to leave in the morning to go take care of him. It rained all night last night, and now it has turned over to snow, so everything is starting to get covered in snow. I'll have to bundle up to get out there today. I just want to show you real quick before I head out and start my day what I take every day, just about, on the road. I end up having to break my fast and eat in my car because I am working. So I'm going to show you real quick. I always have a fat coffee, and then I'll show you real quick what else I'm having with my fat coffee. First off, I'm taking a half an ounce of salt and vinegar pork rinds. I'm going to take one Thrive Market beef stick. This is an all beef stick. I'm taking 2 hard-boiled eggs and 8 of the bacon butter bites. Now I'll just show you real quick what's in my coffee, and then I'm gonna head out for the day. The first thing I always do is put in 2 tablespoons of butter. Kind of fell apart when I cut it for some reason. And then I usually make my coffee right over top of the butter so that the butter will melt. I just use this Great Value breakfast blend. Then I add a dropper full of Keto Chow's electrolyte drops to my coffee. And then I'm also gonna add a dropper full to each bottle of water that I'm taking with me in the car. Next, I'm gonna put in 1 full scoop of unflavored collagen. And then I'm gonna add 1 raw egg. And that's it. I just take my frother immediately after I add the egg and I start blending it up. And believe it or not, if you haven't had egg in your coffee, it froths up really, really well. And this lightens your coffee without having to add any heavy cream or sweetener or anything else to it. So I don't know if you guys can see that in there. It just gets a really lovely froth on it. So that's ready to go. I also take one of these Keto Chow electrolyte tablets every day as well. If you are doing a keto diet or if you are doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, you have to make sure that you keep your electrolytes up. Your body will rid itself of all the sodium, so it just helps to keep me feeling my best. And that's it. I'm ready to head out. I got everything packed in my lunch bag, so I will have it in the car with me, and I will break my fast a little after 12. So we'll see you guys back here tonight with dinner. So I just wanted to show you guys real quick what I'm making for dinner tonight. We are having meatballs, and I basically just used the same recipe I used when we had meatloaf, and I rolled them into little 1-ounce balls. And then I am going to cook these in the air fryer and toss them with butter and a little bit of Frank's Red Hot. So that's what's for dinner tonight. So this is what the meatballs look like as they came out of the air fryer. And I made a very mild buffalo sauce because we all know Mike doesn't like it hot. It's mostly butter with a little bit of Frank's Red Hot in it. And I'm going to go ahead and just toss these in there. So we each have basically a pound of ground beef is what this boils down to, because I made 2 pounds of ground beef, and then we'll probably each end up with about a stick of butter. Should be plenty of fat, plenty of protein.
A bowl of balls.
Yeah. I want your opinion though, because Mike's really hamburgered out, he said. So
oh, yeah.
I'm trying to like mix it up and...
She's trying to cover it up like it's not going to be hamburger. Look, honey, I made something totally different. You won't even know it's hamburger. Except it looks like hamburger, smells like hamburger, and tastes like hamburger.
And it's hamburger.
Yep. It's hamburger. It would taste a lot better on wings.
I know. I miss chicken wings, that's for sure. Oh my gosh.
No, it's good. It's a nice change, but it's definitely hamburger. It ain't no roast, I'll tell you that.
So, speaking of roast, what'd you have for lunch today?
I had roast. And it was the leftover roast from last night. Had all the juice from the roast and the butter that you had melted in there. and it was fantastic. A few noodles left, and it was just amazing. It's one of my favorite meals of all time, roast, and it was so good.
In case you haven't figured that out by now.
Oh my gosh. We just don't eat it enough. I mean, we've
had it twice since we've been on BBBE.
I know, but under normal circumstances, we don't eat it enough. We should eat it more. Much more than hamburgers. Because at this point...
we can't afford that.
Yeah, well, my taste buds...
We can barely afford the hamburgers.
My taste buds can barely afford the hamburger at this point, so we're going to have to do something. But I ate the rest of my roast, and I ate some pork rinds, drank my water. Interesting about the water, so I forgot to take a bottle of water today.
Okay.
I totally forgot to pack bottles of water. So I'm sitting in my office, and I'm like, crap, I'm thirsty as heck. We have a water filtration system where you can get filtered water. I'm thinking, well, that's cool, I can do that. Well, I don't have a cup. I don't have nothing. I don't even have an empty bottle that I could fill.
You should just keep an extra cup at work, though.
Well, then I remembered... over the Christmas holiday, I got this gift box from one of our brokers, and it was an insulated
mug.
Not a mug, but like a full-size cup, and it's metal. It's heavy duty. It was good, and I forgot it was up there. I took it out, and I'm like, ting, ting, this is going to be nice. So I went down, washed it out, and then I went over and filled it up with water, and it stayed cold all day, and I ended up having some water. So it worked out, but it's a good thing I had that. Because if I had thrown that out or brought it home, which I thought about doing, but now...
we don't need it here. We have enough mugs and cups, and I don't know about you guys, but do you have a collection of mugs and cups and travel mugs? Oh, we have so many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do have a lot.
And I have my Yeti that you guys see every day when I make my coffee. I literally use that every day. I never use any of the other cups. The only other thing we use are our blender bottles when we make keto chows and stuff. That's it. I mean, you're drinking out of a glass right now.
Yeah, I've poured my water into a glass, put ice in it because I like cold water. And we never put our bottled water in the refrigerator, so it's never cold. Refreshing.
I mean, there is seltzer water in there if you wanted to have some carbonation.
No, I'm good. I'm good with plain old water and hamburger.
Make it sound like prison food where they have like bread and water, but we have hamburger and water. I keep seltzer water. I don't really like seltzer water, but I cut my Zevia with seltzer water because Zevia is too sweet for me. So if I'm going to drink a Zevia, I do half a glass of Zevia and then half a glass of the seltzer water, and it cuts down on it. Now, Mike just likes it just the way it is, so...
Yep. I like carbonated beverages just the way they are, in their natural state, their organic state.
That would not be organic.
No.
I'm ready to just jump right into Dr. Berry's book. How are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, we can jump right in because there ain't a whole lot to jump into. I mean, this chapter's a good chapter, but it's not lengthy at all. It's one of the shortest ones we've had so far.
Yeah, it's short, but it's important, so we definitely still want to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely.
And tomorrow, for those of you who are interested, our video tomorrow is going to be a kind of get to know me video. We talked about telling you guys a little bit more about us and how we met.
Get to know us video?
Yeah.
You said get to know me.
Oh, get to know us.
I mean, I guess you don't need to know anything about me. You just know I'm tired of hamburger.
Right. That's all you need to know. But it's going to be a get to know us video.
Oh.
We're gonna talk about how we met and just so you guys can get to know us a little bit more on a personal level. And so we're not going to be reading a chapter in Dr. Berry's book tomorrow, so that will be one of the days that we skip. I think we're still on track though. This was chapter 17, so we're only just a couple days behind. I think we had 4 days that we could technically miss. The video has to be done tomorrow early because we have plans tomorrow night, and I can't edit it when we get home tomorrow night. It will be too late. So we're going to have to do an early video tomorrow. So we're going to do the get to know us. And so watch for that if that's something you're interested in. But this chapter 17, is about vitamin D. And the lie is you get enough vitamin D from your diet. The fact that you don't have rickets, which is weak, bending bones in a child, or osteomalacia, which is weak, painful bones in an adult, is proof that you are getting enough vitamin D and you don't need to take a vitamin D supplement. And obviously Dr. Berry is saying false. That's not true. That vitamin D is very important. You really can't get it from your diet. Very, very few things will provide you with a lot of vitamin D, which is like some fish.
Yeah, fish oil, lard, and bacon are great sources of vitamin D. Could you believe that? Bacon?
Right.
I mean...
But really you need to get it mostly from the sun. He says that vitamin D is so important, in fact, that our bodies learned thousands of years ago to make it from exposure to sunlight. But over the last century, we have moved all of our activities indoors. Is that not the truth? We do everything indoors. There's people who work at home that will go days on end without even leaving their house.
Yeah.
And we've drastically cut down the fat that we eat that does provide vitamin D. So most people, vitamin D levels are dropping at a crazy rate.
You know, the more research that's done, they're discovering how important vitamin D is and all the benefits, the health benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those health benefits include benefits to your immune system, heart health, your mood. So if you're in a bad mood, or you seem to be in a bad mood a lot, maybe you need a little more vitamin D. And even sexual function, which I've never heard that before. It just goes to show you that sometimes the simplest things of vitamin D, going outside, being in the sunlight, eating a little more bacon, whatever. I mean, it could have such a huge impact on your life.
Right.
So many positive impacts. This is where the medical research has proven to be beneficial too, because when they do the research, they come to find there's a lot more that they didn't know about it than what they thought years ago.
Well, in the medical schools, there's been a lot of research and we've learned a lot about the benefits of vitamin D and not getting it. Medical schools are still teaching that people have the minimum requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So as a doctor, they're not telling people that they need to get their vitamin D levels up because that's not what they're still not being taught that.
And here's another thing about vitamin D that you may not have known. We didn't know. You've taken vitamin D before, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I've never taken a supplement.
Because my doctor will check it when I go in, and almost always, like, all my numbers come back good, but I'm always low in vitamin D. So then he'll put me on a vitamin D supplement. And I think that that's mostly seems to be like in the winter, because in the summertime, I get plenty of vitamin D. I sit outside a lot. I love to just sit out about an hour a day. Once the weather gets nice, just sit out and get some sun. And so it's mostly probably in the winter months, but my vitamin D has dropped low. So he's had to prescribe me some vitamin D supplements.
Thought of something else. There's two things though. One, just like with the other test that they were running for your thyroid, it's not sufficient enough, that test.
Mm-hmm.
When they check your vitamin D levels, there's a vitamin D level that they should be checked, which is the D25 level, I believe it is. That's more important and more accurate and should be checked, not the other, just the standard vitamin D test.
Yeah,
so that's one thing.
And that's one thing. I don't know if my doctor's ever checked my D25. And the supplement, a lot of us supplement with vitamin D2, and he's saying that the supplement for that is a D3.
Yeah.
I've never taken a D3 as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know anything about them really. The other thing is that like with a lot of supplements or a lot of pills or a lot of medications, if you take too much, of course, it can be harmful.
You can overdose on them.
But vitamin D supplements are virtually impossible. I'm not going to say 100%, but it's nearly impossible to overdose on, because even if you take far more than what you need, you might experience maybe some body aches, maybe a little nausea. According to Dr. Berry, if you
as soon as you stop taking
that extensive amount, you go back to your normal levels, that stuff will go away quickly, and there's no long-term health effects.
There's never been a case of overdose on record of vitamin D. Ever. Zero.
Overdose or
zilch.
death?
Yeah.
Not one.
Yeah. So he also says, and this is just him, and I'm just going to read this real quick. He says, I play in the sun without sunscreen as often as possible. I eat lots of pastured fatty foods like butter, egg yolks, and pork. I also take 5,000 to 10,000 IUs, which is international units, right?
Yep.
Of vitamin D3 every day as needed to keep my levels above 50. 30 is like as low as you would want to go. So normal is anywhere between 30 and 100. And right now medical schools are saying, 30 is fine.
Right.
That's kind of what I was saying before. He checks his vitamin D levels twice a year, and the results show that he's not even close to overdosing. He said, I will always take a daily vitamin D supplement unless I move closer to the equator where the sun is stronger. So that's just words from Dr. Berry about vitamin D. And if vitamin D is something that you are curious about or want to know more about, he put a website on here. It's a vitamin D resource page, and it's called the Vitamin D Council. So if you are interested in possibly researching, vitamin D levels or what you need more, check that website out. And that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an important vitamin, so obviously we need to look into it more, and most of us probably need to supplement that in some form.
Yeah, especially if you live in like Northeast Ohio like we do.
Right, where the sun comes out like 3 days a year.
Although you guys saw yesterday, I was out in the sun. It's not direct sunlight because I was in my car, but it was so nice. It was much
not so much today.
Yeah. So that's it for tonight, guys. We're just gonna finish our dinner, and we will touch base with you guys tomorrow. We'll be ready to tell you the story of us.
You better get some, well, never mind, you can't have popcorn, but you better get ready, set yourself down, get a nice cozy chair, nice warm blanket, maybe light a fire. Because
What if they live in Texas?
We're going to tell you
They may
some
not want
stories.
that.
All right, well, they can sit outside around a campfire. Well,
True.
I'd like to be doing that right now.
Right? Oh, I can't wait for camping season. Oh, all right, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Good night.